Cause you got a lot of people that do it for the money. They do it for the money and to act like they teachers and stuff like that. But they don't really care about the individual person that they trying to teach or whatever. So
I feel like if something's happened to the world, I'ma survive, Quest.
yeah.
I feel like to another episode of Curious Minds, the podcast. Today I have my homie with me, Quiz.
How y'all doing, man? Quiz.
Today we are going to be talking about more of a spiritual side of things. And Quiz, what I want to know is, what first started you on your spiritual journey?
I always had like a curious mind to like just learn different stuff, and people I was asking, they weren't really giving me no answers, so started doing my own research.
So about what age do you think you was when you start being more curious about the spiritual realm?
Probably I'd say when I was like around 19.
You started off as a Christian?
Yeah.
Okay. So what about Christianity made you have more questions about it?
Oh, well, at first, when I was younger, I was like really into the church though. You know, I used to go to church with my mom every week, whatever. And then like I just when I was growing up, I just wanted to find out like more about it. And then I started getting like unanswered questions. So I was like, let me do some more research on this, see what I can find. It lead me to like where I'm at now.
That's kind of how I was when I first started too. Like stuff just didn't make sense. I had questions, and they always be like, "Well, you can't question God." Well, how am I gonna know the answers if I don't ask him no questions? You know. So that's what started me more on my spiritual journey. How do you look at today's society based off your spirituality?
How I look at it is society looks like chaotic. There's like no type of leadership as far as like like with the young people and like people that's like the youth. Like I don't see no like leadership and nothing like that.
That's how I feel too. I feel like people lost their way, especially when it comes to all this twerking. I feel like these hoes can't have a soul. Like ain't no way you got no soul. You can't be spiritual nor religious if you can go out into the world and act like that.
Yeah.
You feel me?
And it's really because the influence from like celebrities and music, like movies and music like that. That's where the influence come from. That's why these young females be out here trying to like twerk, you know, all this stuff.
So speaking of celebrities, how you feel about the Kyrie Irving situation? Have you heard about it? Looked into it?
Yeah, come up with the like anti-Semitic thing.
Yeah, with him thinking that black people are Jews and can't be anti-Semitic.
Well, first off, a black person can't be anti-Semitic because if you know the first people on the planet was a black person. So with them saying being anti-Semitic, you're trying to say like who is the chosen people of God. And when you look at a Jew, you would think of a Jew as being like, I don't know, kind of like a white person in a way. So me knowing what I know, if you black, you can't be anti-Semitic because you was actually here first. So.
I just don't understand how Jews are white, but they're African. And that might seem ignorant, but that's really how I think.
Yeah, like, okay, so with the Jews being in Africa, the first Jews they're black. Like the Hebrew Israelites, they are black. I don't know. I don't know how this stuff got switched around to being like how it is today, like with the white people or Middle Eastern people calling themselves the real Jews. But
well, to go into that, I heard something about the Roman Empire taught them how to like enslave the African people, like our spirituality and all of that stuff, to be able to capture us.
See, what happened with the Romans, and you know about the Pope and all that. So, from my information that I found out is the Pope actually had this thing called a thing called a papal bull, where it's like a document. He give directions to like different discoverers, and in those directions were go find new land, and whoever you find in a new land, convert them to a new religion. So with that being said, they came. That's where they came to the America, and the people that lived in Americans, like Native Americans, they began to convert them to religion.
So you believe that black people were converted into Christians?
I do believe that.
I do too.
Yeah, I do believe. I do believe that because, first of all, if we think of being a Christian, you think of Jesus Christ. From my perspective, I'm thinking of a white man with long hair and stuff like that. But that's really false. So that's just my opinion.
So do you believe that there is a God?
Yes, I believe that there is a God.
You just don't believe in it the way the Bible tells it.
No, I don't believe it in the way that the Bible describes how God is.
Yeah. I look at God as just like a divine energy of masculine and feminine. You know, that's how I look at it. And that's why everything in the universe and on earth is made out of masculine or feminine energy.
Yes, it has to be. You got to have duality. So you got to have a feminine energy and a masculine energy working together to create creation. So that's my opinion on that part.
I was about to tie to something when you said that, the LGBTQ, but we don't. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so who started you on spirituality? Like, who were some of the ones that inspired you to go on this journey?
First people I started watching was probably somebody like Spiritual Soul.
Yeah, I remember you put me on him. He used to get on my nerves so bad in the beginning with that, what he used to say all the time.
Yeah, his little intro he had.
Yeah, all that used to work my nerves. But as I started listening to him, I started understanding more like why you listen to him, you know? Okay, UFOs.
Okay.
So, do you believe in these UFO sightings that been going on lately?
Yes, I do.
Where do you think UFOs originated from? Do you think they are really from outer space or where?
See, I believe yes, they are from outer space, but you have to be able to look at it for what it is, because the government also tries to trick us with saying like there's UFOs that they created, but there are actually real UFOs that are out there in other places, in the universe. So you got to be able to have discernment and decide what is real, what is fake.
Okay, so since you say that they are out of space, do you believe in the firmament?
Yes.
That we are encapsulated by a dome.
Yeah.
Well, if that's true, then how do the aliens get hit? Where the UFOs get hit from outer space?
I would say they have a higher technology to be able to break through the firmament, the dome, and I don't really believe that humans have left this planet. I don't believe in the moon landing or nothing like that. So I would say that I believe in UFOs, but they're able to break through the firmament by whatever technology they have.
Do you believe in portals?
Yes.
Do you think there's any way they could have came through a certain portal to get here instead of actually breaking the firmament?
Yeah, I believe they could get through, because you also have different dimensions, so they could have came through like another dimension in some way. And I feel like humans open up portals just by how they do stuff on the planet, like as far as your energy is. So I would say like, yeah, it's possible.
Now I feel like that's why people acting the way they acting now, because we didn't let's say we'd open another portal or whatever, and it got people like not acting in their normal selves.
Well, I would say the reason for that is because if you remember back in 2022, they started up the CERN generator thing.
Yeah.
And I heard that it caused more portals to open up.
They say that's where the Mandela effect come from.
It could be.
Do you believe in the Mandela effect, or do you think they changed to make people think they crazy?
For a long time, I was really trying to look up all that about the Mandela effect. I really believe that some things have changed, because I remember something in the childhood being like exactly how it was, but now it's saying it wasn't really like that. So I feel like they have changed some things that we don't really know about.
I feel like instead of actually being the Mandela effect, I believe that we actually do jump parallel universes. And that's why we might remember things some way other than other ways, because we might have been in the other parallel universe. Because I swear I remember one time, this was a long time ago, and I was talking to this person, and I remember he telling me that his aunt died, right? So I say about a year later, we ended up talking, and he said something about his aunt, and I was like, did your aunt die? And he was like, no, where you get that from? But I know for a fact this man told me that his aunt died. You feel what I'm saying? So I feel like it's more than a Mandela effect. Like, I feel like we be jumping down parallel.
We could, like, because I remember some dates, some years, they say, like, well, 2012 was a crazy year, or 2013, something like that. I feel like, yeah, like, we could be, like, entering different dimensions as, like, a whole, like, reality.
Mm-hmm.
But maybe.
See, they were saying something now, like we're going into a whole nother dimension. That's why the earth is getting hotter and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Do you believe that?
Yeah, actually, right now we are entering the age of Aquarius. So what that means is we like it's like a form of cleansing from the planet and the universe. So every, like, I want to say 6,000 years or whatever, the planet actually cleanses itself out for a new energy to come in. So I feel like that's what we're into right now.
So that's what they consider when they be saying that we're going through upgrades.
Yes. Well, talking about, like, with the like the DNA upgrades,
Mhm.
whatever. Okay, so with that, on that topic, yes. If you are a melanated being, if you have carbon in your skin, you actually receive light codes from the sun in the universe, which can activate certain parts of your DNA that has been locked through, like, whatever you've been doing on the planet. So
Because I seen somewhere where they said we have like strains of DNA that we haven't used and don't know how to activate.
mhm.
So that could pretty much be what they talking about.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. So I heard that people that took the, you know what,
Yeah.
they won't receive upgrades.
Yeah,
Do you
that-
believe it?
Yes, like, okay. See what the you know what did, especially if you a so-called black person.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a black person and you took that, you have put an encryption on your whole biological, like, structure, so where you won't be able to get the benefits of the so-called DNA activation when it actually it's time for it to happen.
Okay, well, if you say that, I've heard people also say that, I don't know how true this is because I'm black, you know, but I heard them say that white people don't have souls. Do you believe that?
It's a see, I'm gonna say this. I feel like everybody on the planet does have a spirit.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody has a spirit, but I'm gonna say not everybody has a soul, because a soul it's a formation of different, like, gases and different elements and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
So being black, you're actually a natural being to the planet. You and the planet coexist with each other on the type of frequency level that your so-called Caucasian man and your Arab man and your Asian man and some of your Latino people, they don't really have that makeup in their body, so they can't.
Okay, I can understand that. But my thing is, if they don't have a soul and you know that they have black in them, like you do ancestry, like everybody came from a black being.
Okay.
So if they don't have a soul, then what about the black part that they actually have in them? And then some of us actually have some white in us. So how do you determine if there's a soul or not if they have some of our DNA in them and we also have some of their DNA in us?
I heard two different theories on that, and the first theory I heard back then was if you have any black in you, or if you have any carbon in you, if you're, like, a mixed person, then yeah, you have a soul, or you're just like a black person, as long as you have that in your body. You don't matter if you black and white, Asian and white, whatever you want to be. If you have that in you, then yeah.
So what are your beliefs though? Other than what you've been told, what do you really feel?
I believe that the highest, like I feel like the black woman is the key to, like, everything. So I think it depends on your, like, it depends on if your mom is black or white. So if your mom is black and your dad probably a different race, then you could have the
Your dad is more dominant.
the mom. I feel like the mom would
Okay.
the mom would pass down more of a type of DNA to have to so you can probably be like somebody with a soul or whatever, something like that.
Okay, so let's go back to the UFOs.
All right.
So you know that they've been saying they seen UFO sightings in Antarctica, and a lot of people are saying that that's where they come from, like where they come through the portals at, and that's why they so heavily guarded. Do you believe that they guard them because of UFOs, or do you think it's a deeper meaning? Because it is heavily guarded, and don't nobody own it.
Okay.
Antarctica.
Well, from my opinion, I feel like Antarctica is actually around the whole planet.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just in that one area. I feel like it surrounds the whole Earth. So, behind Antarctica, I feel like there's different other life forms that we can't reach. They can't reach us, or we can't reach them.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how I feel. That's why they keep us away from Antarctica. Because, I mean, we in 2023. I feel like somebody that wanted to live there, they probably could live there, but they just want to keep it heavily guarded.
Okay, so I've also heard that the water, like that come off the glaciers in Antarctica, they say that it's real pure and it gets you closer to like the spiritual realm of the world. Do you believe in it?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like the energy or the frequency around Antarctica, I feel like it could affect the person's like it could probably affect somebody that's like close over there.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, I kind of believe that too. It could happen. You know,
Do you believe that black people are aliens, or the aliens that they talk about?
Yeah, like I feel like okay, my from my opinion and what I have like done research on how I feel like the black race we are the real extraterrestrials on this planet.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like our extended family are the aliens that's like outside the planet that you see with these UFOs and stuff like that as well. And you would call them like you could call them like Star Family or something like that.
Mm-hmm. Is that where we get the Anunnaki theory from?
See, yeah, the Anunnaki, that theory, there's like two different theories on that. So there's more than one type of Anunnaki though. So if you say you have the so-called that look black Anunnakis, and then you have like come from the Sumerian text Anunnaki. So when people say the UFOs, I'm thinking that they're talking about the ones that look carbonated beings, the Anunnaki that you would kind of call us like say our extended family or something.
Okay, so you say carbonated beings. I was looking, I can't remember who it was. But they say that we used to have skin like avatars until they lowered like the I can't remember if it was the oxygen level or something, and our skin started to become more carbon. Right.
Yeah.
So if the Anunnakis was here way before us, wouldn't it seem like their skin would be more of a blue if we come from them? Or were we just blue because we were on Earth?
Yeah, I think we were our first color was actually like a bluish greenish color because hydrogen, like we have more hydrogen on the planet than what we do now. Like back then, I feel like the Earth was more of a water planet, more tropical planet, and I don't believe that we actually. Yeah, and I don't believe that we actually had. We didn't have like winter, the season winter. I don't believe that we had it. I feel like there was a creation by whoever created winter. I don't believe that was really a winter back then.
So you don't believe that winter is a real season? I've heard that a lot.
I don't know. I don't believe that it's a real. I don't think it is.
I heard that they created winter to bring illness because illness can't survive in the heat. It can only survive in the cold.
It could be true, and
they say that's why hospitals keep it cold so that way they can keep patients and shit.
Yeah, keep the sickness going.
Mm-hmm.
But also though, I feel like the coldness is actually damaging to the so-called melanated carbon people or melanated people. I feel like it's kind of damaging because, like I say, the sun actually it gives us energy. So when the sun is not out and it's cold, I feel like that's when we're at our lowest point.
Okay, so let's go back to spirituality real quick. You know, I remember when we was working there, they used to always say, you know, stay grounded, get your sun, because you know you get your vitamin D from your sun. Okay.
Mhm.
Well, I was reading up that China has put up their own sun, and we don't know what the government really be doing. We don't know if we standing under the real sun or a fake one. So, do you think it would do more harm being outside, not knowing if you're under the real sun or not, or do you feel like you'll still be able to get your vitamin D?
Um, See, with the whole thing about China, I don't believe. I feel like they have a sun over there where they at, because I feel like they probably can't take. Well, you never. I never been to China or over there on the other side of the country, so I don't know if they're actually getting any sunlight from the real sun in the sky that we see every day for years. So maybe they haven't been getting that sun because I mean they still need it to feel warm and stuff. But I feel like they probably made an artificial sun so they could get that temperature right over there because it might be too cold over there for them. So,
Okay.
that's what I see.
That could make sense. But at the same time, I don't trust the government. So do you believe that they could do something like that behind our back and not let us know, inform us? Because if you think about it, everything is a conspiracy theory until 10 years later and the truth come out. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I feel like this could be like a conspiracy theory going on. Because people been talking about it like we not really under the real sun.
Yeah,
Like
I
that,
heard
so.
stuff like that too. I have heard that too. Cause like if you look now, the sun actually looks white or silver now. It don't actually like back then you could say the sun used to look yellow or red or orange, but now it looks silver to me now.
Well, yeah. And you know how you used to could look at the sun as soon as you look up there, like your eyes be burning like shit. I can actually look at the sun a little bit longer than I used to. So I be feeling like is the sun dimming now or is that motherfucker fake? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, I actually have heard that the sun is gonna go out. It's gonna go out, and then if you look on NASA, you go on NASA, and I think they actually have pictures of how the sun looks right now, and it has like dark spots within the sun right now. So it could be maybe the sun might go out one day.
I have a question. If we have been here for billions, well, if the Earth has been here for billions of years, right? The humans have only been here for thousands. How do we know what we think we know about the Earth?
Actually, I feel like all of that is in your DNA. All you have to do is reach those. If you have to tap into that type of energy, you got to tap into your.
Now, I did hear that our DNA holds all the information that ever was and ever will be. But we just don't know how to like tap into it to know.
Yeah, because what the government has done and what this world has done, it has poisoned you to the point to where you can't really tap into that type of information so you can reach the Akashic records or reach those type of memories and that's locked into your DNA.
You feel like the world is a lost cause?
Kind of, but I feel like it could be like saved.
You really think it can be saved?
Yeah, but yes, it can, but we have to get rid of this artificial way of living. We gotta get rid of this whole thing with getting closer with AI and artificial intelligence. If we go back to like a natural way of living, I feel like we can save the planet.
But you can't. I feel like you can only do it if you instill it into the generation coming up.
Yeah.
Like the people now are already fucking lost. They already gonna do what the hell they want to do. They ain't trying to listen to nobody. The only way I feel like you can change anything is if you have to get the generation under you to understand the bigger picture and to change it as they grow up.
And also, we are actually in a 7-year tribulation period. So from 2023, which the year we are now, to 2030, there's going to be a lot of events happening on the planet to where the Earth is just basically just going to cleanse itself out, and whatever happens is
So we
happens.
did a lot of shit to the Earth, and it's about time for her to get her body back right. So when you say that about you think that it's about to be a cleanse or whatever in 2030, so do you believe that's why they trying to get an agenda in order for the year 2030?
Yeah, they have this thing called Yeah, they actually have. It's called the Agenda 2030. They have that. It's agenda called that right now.
And they say it's on the CDC website if you actually want to see it. Well, it was on there. People been talking about it.
Like all the things that they do, as far as your government and your world leaders, they don't want you to reap the benefits of that the DNA activation again. So they want to keep you in the third dimensional reality, so you can't reach the fourth dimension, which is the highest mental state, or the fifth dimension, which is the higher mental state. That's like really like your so-called heaven. Is that?
I think they kind of messed up with the internet. Even though social media helps them put out degenerate information and get a lot of people to follow, it also then allow other people to open up and explore different things, you know what I'm saying, and get stuff out. I feel like it's gonna take men, in my opinion, when it comes to actual spiritual stuff. I feel like it's gonna take the men to open up the world to see it, because women these days, they don't care about nothing. They don't care nothing about spirituality, religion, they selves, they kids. I could be wrong, but
the woman is the key to it all. Though, if she knows herself, then a man can know his place in this world as well, in this world as well. But she has to know her place first, so she can teach us.
So you think the mother is the teacher?
Yes, I feel like the mother has the most influence on, especially children. The mom has the most influence on any children. So I would say the mother will have to know her place, and then she would have everything like in order after that.
I can agree with that.
So the man is really the protector of the female, but the female is the one who actually teaches what everybody needs to be doing.
Okay, I can understand that. So Antarctica, I used to binge watch Richard E. Byrd, right? You know who that is?
Yeah.
They did all the expeditions to Antarctica. Okay, so when he was there or whatever, at first, when he first did his expeditions, he said that it was an ice wall that went up so many miles high, and it looked like it was wrapped around 360 degrees. They couldn't go around it or through it, right? So that's when they did Operation High Jump.
Okay.
And they ended up jumping over the what's the name to explore. And he said he found a piece of land with no ice on it, no nothing, bigger than North America. You feel me? So do you feel like Antarctica is what branches off this part of reality away from like other realities or whatever?
Actually,
or civilizations.
So there's this thing called life beyond the ice wall. So when you look at that, America and all the countries that we know of right now, they're on the first part of the ice wall, like the center of the ice wall.
So these 7 continents are like the center of the first ice wall.
Yeah.
Okay.
And that's where we live in our reality. But behind over the ice wall, there are actually different beings and different life forms that we haven't seen before, and the government actually knows about this, but they keep it from us though.
Okay. My thing is with outer space and shit like this, right? This just don't make sense to me. We can't pick up a wireless band to where, like, if I'm over here and you way over there in China or some shit, right? You can't use my Wi-Fi or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, we can't stay connected long enough for you to go all the way over there. So how the hell can they connect a satellite to us on Earth and go all the way out of the realm of where the shit that is connected to and still be able to see what the hell is going on out there in outer space? Like, how does that work? Like, how do we stay connected for them to be able to go light years away and we still receive the information?
It could be whatever type of technology they have, or it could really just be their idea of what it might be.
Or what they think it could be.
Yeah, because I don't believe that they can. I don't believe them going to different planets. You see, with the other like aliens or so-called aliens or whatever, I feel like they have been in contact with them, so they probably give out information. They come up with different agreements, whatever. So I feel like that could be why. And I feel like aliens and extraterrestrials have came to this planet to talk to the government and give them like secret information and tell them what's gonna happen and stuff like that. So
see, me, I feel more like I don't think aliens come from outer space. I feel like they come from inner Earth. Me, my opinion. I feel like they come from inner Earth because we didn't found like caves. I think it's a cave in Baghdad or China, somewhere over there. And it got its own ecosystem, its own waterfall. It's got sunlight and shit.
Yeah,
it's in a damn cave.
Yeah,
you feel me?
Yeah.
They done had multiple stories of like people, like the dude Richard E. Berg. He said he was thrown down into a hole or whatever. He lost all like control of his machine. Of his plane and shit. And he went down in a little hole, and it was people down there. And they brought him to their master. He said they got their own sun, their own ecosystem, and everything.
Yeah, it's the hollow earth.
Yeah. So I feel like the that we are running from is in our earth instead of outside of our earth.
I actually. Like if you think about like the Grand Canyon, that's why they guard the Grand Canyon. Nobody can really go in the Grand Canyon.
Yeah, I heard the Grand Canyon was a portal into inner earth.
It's a portal too to reach inner earth too. And I haven't seen it myself, but I seen like pictures of beings that actually live in the planet. I kind of seen what they look like. And
that's where I think the Mayans went to. You know how they said the Mayans just disappeared? Millions of them just disappeared. No trace of them, like no bones, no nothing. I feel like they found their way into inner earth. And you know they said inner earth, like they live longer than us, they healthier than us, and like they don't know about diseases or nothing.
Yeah, right now. Because the reason why they went into inner earth to begin with is because the planet was unlivable. It was a lot of catastrophes and a lot of hurricanes or whatever you want to call it going on the planet. So they had to find a way to get to save ground. So they went into inner earth.
So if inner earth is real, so that means we've been lied to our whole life about the core. Because you know they said inside of earth, the farther you go inside the earth, the hotter the core is, and it become like magnet and shit like that. Well, the reason I know that that's a lie because I also seen this video of this man. He went below like the volcano level or whatever, and he said under the volcano level they sent the whole new like a whole new little lake and sea or whatever. It was cold as shit and everything, and that was below the actual volcano and like the lava and shit like that, where the lava would have ran through.
I heard it's like real like people living down in the earth.
So my thing is, if we can't believe what we were taught in school and everything about history is a lie, how do we know what to believe in and what not to believe in? How do you know who's telling the truth and who's not?
I feel like it really depends on yourself. Like whatever resonates with you, and like whatever, because you gotta have your intuition has to be right for you to understand to understand what's real and what's fake, and have discernment and all that.
And I always felt like the truth just feels right. You can feel when something is the truth. You know what I'm saying? You can feel when, okay, you bullshit me. Something just ain't right. Because you're going to always have questions like, this ain't adding up with this ain't adding up with this. That's like gravity. I heard that gravity was fake. It was just a way for them to be able to explain us living on the ball.
I mean...
And if there's an inner earth, then that also debunks the fact that we live on a ball too. Right? Wouldn't that debunk that we live on a ball?
How would they live if the planet like us?
Because there wouldn't be no gravity inside of there, right?
Yeah.
Or either I would think that the force would be too strong for anybody to be able to live in that.
Because we coming down, so like
everything is like pushing to hold on the surface. So how the hell?
But also the earth is also spinning too though. So they could be a way.
So you believe that the earth actually spins?
Yeah. Because how could you explain like the day and night cycle? So
I look at that as us being on the flat earth, and instead of like the sun rotating around a ball and around, it rotates above us in a circular motion.
Yeah, I heard it too.
You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. It makes more sense to me, and then it goes on inner axis, and as the seasons change, it moves its way towards the outer axis. That would explain why Alaska has 6 months of daylight. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, cause like it could be because like the sun rises in the east and sets in the west as well, so that could be.
And that would prove why you could see the sun and the moon at the same time sometimes.
Especially now, you can see the sun, you can see the moon outside.
And it makes sense when it comes to a solar eclipse, because if they both are rotating this way, they will eventually pass each other at one point in time. Yeah. So do you believe that the sun is actually like billions of miles away, like they say, or do you think it's a lot closer than what they tell us it is?
It look a lot closer, but if it's that far, it gotta be big as hell. Like, so I feel like it's probably that far, cause like if it's a ball of magna, a ball of solar energy, if it's too close to us, I feel like the whole planet would just catch on fire or something. So it probably is that far away though.
The only reason why I thought that maybe it was a little closer is because, you know, when the light rays come in, the closer it is, the easier you can see the bend in the light coming off of it. And the farther away it is, the lights look more straight. You feel me? Because you can't see what it's coming off of. So I be thinking it's a little closer because when the sun sets on the water and shit, you can actually see it spreading like a ray of light. So that's why I be thinking it's a little closer than what they tell us it is.
Yeah, it could be. But it's also like when you think of like this, the Earth is the third planet in the solar system, so it could. It probably won't be that close on. It might not be. I don't think.
And I heard that the sun, like, this was from a spiritual person. They look at the sun as energy. Like when people die, they go to the sun until they find their next path or whatever. And that's why the sun is considered so hot, because it's full of so much energy. Like souls.
This is for carbonated beings. So when your ancestors, your so-called ancestors, when they die or in the history of on Earth, their soul actually goes into the sun and it projects solar energy back to the planet. That's why you have the so-called that's where you get the so-called DNA activation from your ancestors, like living on the planet, and when they pass, their energy went into the sun. That's why we have the like the solar flash and stuff like that hitting the planet. Stuff like that.
That makes sense. Okay, do you know who David Icke is?
Yeah.
Okay, so David Icke made this statement. He said that we are all part of the same consciousness, having different experiences.
I heard it.
That's why some of us look at ourselves like we might come out as black or male or female, but we are really all part of the same consciousness, just having different experiences in different bodies and shit like that. Experiencing the world in a different way.
I heard that too, but why would that? Okay, if you say that, why are there's one race that gets treated worse than all other races?
But that's I can see that. But if we are all part of the same consciousness, let's say that consciousness is God, right? And he having different experiences. He can be looking at stuff like, from white people, their experience could just be that they're having an experience to where they feel like they're better just because they don't look the same. So they are causing conflict because they feel like they don't look the same. So this could be a part of God, like jealous side, and that's the white people. Or this could be a part of God's like love inside, and this is a certain race of people. Like the reason why we all act a certain way and have our cultures the certain way we do is because we are all part of this consciousness, having each part of its experiences at the same time.
Yeah, that's a theory. That could be, it could be true. I just thought it was like that too. After I kind of left religion in a way, I was thinking like we all part of the same consciousness. We just in different bodies, different colors. So that's what I was thinking.
Because if you break all of us down from the root, we all are pretty much the exact same in the inside. The only difference is whether you're a male or a female. So you might have testes instead of ovaries, or different shit can happen. But other than that, we all have a heart, 2 arms, 2 legs, 2 feet, shit like that. You feel what I'm saying?
Yeah, but we should see, but why do black people have like your so-called better genetics though than white people too?
Yeah, that's true.
Like we can actually stay in the sun longer than they can, and stuff like that. So I just don't understand.
So you still don't feel like they could be just a part of an experience that just comes with being that type of person?
You talking about from all of us, like black and white people and other races, everybody?
Yeah, like everything that makes us up is from this part of consciousness that we're having the experience from.
would you say that that consciousness? Do you think that consciousness has is it able to make decisions, or you think it's just want to expand itself out, or was it able to reason with itself, or something like that? Because if you creating a race, like if your consciousness or you're like a god and you want to experience like life, would you create multiple different races, or would you have that same race being one and just experience life together? And then like also when you create different races, you having multiple conflicts within each race and stuff like that. So I don't know. I
don't know, because let's say that I'm a basket, right? And and my consciousness is confused. It's considered the fruits that you put in the inside of the basket, right?
Mm-hmm.
Even though all of this fruit is in this basket, part of this one consciousness, they all have different experiences. Like the apple might end up being red, the orange might end up being orange, but they're still all part of the same basket. Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. I'm just using examples. I don't know for real.
But okay, if you have it like that, then why do we have different religions and you know?
Honestly, I feel like religion just comes from people wanting to feel like they know more than the next person. It's like, I got 2 kids, right? Yeah. One a boy and one a girl. Even though they both are a part of me, they still might have 2 totally different ideas and experiences. You feel what I'm saying? My little boy, brown skin, my little girl, like, you feel me? Mm-hmm. But at the end of the day, they still gonna have their own minds. They still gonna go whichever way they want to go. They gonna move whichever way they want to go. But that don't mean that they didn't come from the same person. You know what I'm
saying? Yeah, that could be. I just don't believe that a creator, somebody that creates life, would want one side of his creation to just suffer, and the other side, I feel like they're better than them for all these years.
I feel like we use our power in different ways. You feel me? Like, to me, black people, the culture of black people, I ain't talking about us now because I hate the way we act right now, but I'm just saying like the culture of black people, right? Yeah. We were stronger. We knew how to use our strength as far as hunting food, being able to protect people, you feel me? And white people use their talents as far as their mind, being able to manipulate people. And everybody got their own talent. It's just that some people use their talents better than others. So that's how they end up on top while the others end up on the bottom. That don't mean that other people couldn't end up on top and put them on the bottom. It's just that they have to learn how to use their talents to their advantage.
Okay, so do you think that we talk about like a black person and a white person? So do you think that they all have the same behaviors, or you think they have different behaviors within their race?
I feel like as a whole, we all are pretty much, I ain't gonna say the same, but we all have the same concept as a whole. But individually, you're always gonna have individuals. Like, I don't care if you black, white, or purple. You're always gonna have an ignorant motherfucker out the group.
True, but I ask you this then. Okay. If like we know what happened. We know that white people, they actually colonize people. They colonize other races and they enslaved them and did whatever they did to them. Do you feel like if a black person had that was in that same situation, you think they would do it they would do it to somebody too?
Let's go back to what you first said, right? That black people was the first people here, right?
Okay.
Do you know that slavery been going on thousands of years before America was even established?
Yeah.
So we was already doing it before the white people came and started doing it. It's just that the white people used it to their advantage and was able to move the system in a way to where it put them on the top. But black people have always had slaves. We the ones sold our people, like us right here. We were considered Slavs because we are the ones that got sent over here. But I don't feel like all slaves are in America. I feel like we were once kings and queens, like of what is called the Grand Canyon, and then they came and took over, and we was deceived by our own people. You feel what I'm saying? That's how I look at stuff. But I can't sit here and say that white people started slavery, If you look at history, can't nobody say that white people started slavery. But if you look at history, you can also say that who stopped slavery.
I mean, to me, it's really still going on.
Yeah, in a different way. But I'm saying who stopped slavery as far as like bondage and owning other people on your property and beating them and shit like that. I'm saying in that form of a way. Who actually ended that?
I mean, you would say a white person did.
A white person did, right?
It's kind of.
Well, he was mixed, like Abraham Lincoln. But yeah. So that's how I look. That's how I look at it. Do I ignore the fact that it was systematic racism? No, I don't ignore that. But at the same time, I feel like we can't ask, like when they ask for reparations, we can't ask the white man for reparations if they didn't start it. You have to go back to the person that started it. The reason why the Jews got reparations from Hitler is because Hitler actually started that was going on in Germany at that time. You feel me? We can't get reparations back, because if we get reparations back, we actually have to go all the way back to Africa, to the people who actually sold us into slavery and started it, which would be our own people. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I get a little deeper,
but I don't believe that the beings, the black people that's over here right now, I don't believe all of them really came from Africa.
I don't either. I feel like a lot of us was already here and they colonized us. You know that when Christopher Columbus came over here, he killed off like 90% of the people just by having sex with them and giving them diseases.
That's what I'm saying about the Papa Bull thing.
And even when Christopher Columbus came over here, what did he say the people looked like that was over here?
Brown
and dark-skinned people, right? Yep. So I feel like a lot of us was already over here. They say the majority of the slaves are really like in Hades and shit like that, and them the ones that rebelled and got control over their own like island, and that's why people don't want to pay them, like get them money and help them, because they mad at them for like going against the slave trade. But yeah. But do I feel like there are, when you look at the government is evil itself. You feel me? And yeah, it's mostly white people, because mostly white people run the government. So if you look at it in that way, then yeah, I would say white people are bad, because the government itself is bad. But to sit here and say that all white people are bad, no. The same way I can't sit here and say that all black people have a heart, because they don't. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. That's how I look at the world.
All people have, all races of people have their good and bad people. But when you look at the you gotta look at, but sometimes you gotta look at it from a collective though. When you look at the collective in recent years and the behaviors of white people, you would say they have basically, you could say they took advantage of another race, or even poisoned another race. So you could kind of say stuff like that. I mean, also black people have done the same thing, even to their own self, to their own race.
I feel like the reason why they put black men in the media so much is because at the end of the day, black men are the lowest on the totem pole. Not saying that it's because we want it to be, but it's because of the way society look at them. You feel me? They have their women putting them down. They got the government putting them down. White, black people. It don't matter. It's like everybody comes after the black man. You feel me? And I feel like that's gonna start with the black women, because with black women having as much power as they do now, we should set the standard to let people know, okay, you're not going to do our men like that. You feel me? But instead of us setting the standard and being like, you're not going to do our men like that, we follow along with it and put our men down even more. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of it, I feel like a lot of stuff could be changed if we changed our mindsets ourselves.
Yeah, we
because right now, you don't have nobody, okay, once you make it real big, let's say, like Kanye. Once you get billions, then yeah, you're going to have people standing in your way telling you like, nah. But right now, on this day, any black person that wanted to make $1 million could make $1 million. Any black person that wanted to live a better life than what they living right now and get a house in the suburbs, they could. There's nothing holding you back except for your victim mentality. But now when you start making billions, okay, now we're going into a different percentage of people. So yeah, I can see you being held down. But I don't like the victim mentality that we still have to this day. Because when I look at it, my grandmother went through way more than we did, and they never complained about nothing. And they held their families together. You feel me? Now we the freest we'd ever been, but we ain't holding our families together. All we do is talk to each other. It's like we going backwards instead of forward.
I would say that back then, see, I feel like they was more afraid back then too, because it kind of just came off the different laws. All the laws was against the black person, so they really feel like they probably didn't have a choice. They just had to listen. They was getting sprayed water hose, discrimination, segregation. So
That's true, but at the end of the day, that wouldn't stop them from being family. You get what I'm saying? Like, just because you was getting sprayed down in the streets, that would have made you like, I don't want to start a family because I ain't gonna be able to protect my kids. You feel me? But even back then, when they couldn't protect their kids, they still believed in family structure, holding the family together, helping each other for generations. You feel what I'm saying? Now, people don't want to stay in relationships. They want to raise kids by themselves. Our kids are in and out of jail. Even though they had it harder back then, they still was more intelligent than we are right now. Because they knew that family structure meant a whole lot more to the next generation than having money.
yeah, that's because we adopted this. We got this new goal that we want to be billionaires and millionaires and not want to stay with the family. They want to. Everybody want to have their own shit, their own car, their own house. Instead of staying in a family and y'all can work, it'd be way easier for y'all to accomplish that stuff.
Now I do believe that since we ain't never have nothing, that's why black people like to show off stuff, like get a chain or something, because it make them feel like, okay, I done made it somewhere other than where I used to be at. You feel me? So that's why black people are more concerned with chains and jewelry and actually looking good. You feel me? Because that's something we ain't never had. White people don't care too much about that because money is nothing to them. It's like second nature because they have always passed it down through generation. You feel me? But I feel like instead of us being mad at each other and nitpicking, okay, well, white people do this, well, black people do that, we should be trying to learn from each other. Okay, how do white people continue to be wealthy? Look at what they do, pay attention to what they do, and take out all the good that they do to help their family. White people, how do black people do this and this and that? How can they communicate with each other the way they do? You know what I'm saying? How do they have such a brother and a sisterhood with each other? And then they can follow us and mimic that. Instead, I feel like we should come together instead of trying to separate each other. You white, so you this person. You black, so you this person.
I actually feel like the first thing all races should do, they should get back with their own race and figure out some shit together, because how it is now, it seems like a bunch of confusion. Yeah. Nobody really knows, because you need to learn your history, learn your ancestors, and then after that you can move on to like whatever you want to do after that. But as far as like with the black person, we just don't know ourselves. That's how I feel. We don't really know ourselves.
I feel like we lost ourselves along the way. Yeah. We used to know ourselves. We used to know ourselves a lot until like the 60s.
I think we adopted this thing, trying to be faithful instead of actually trying to learn some shit, learn some facts. And we think we waiting for somebody to come save us.
So, instead of saving ourselves.
Yeah.
So do you believe that, being on that topic, do you believe that black people should ask for handouts from the government?
No.
No, I don't feel like that either.
Nah,
I feel like the more we ask them for, the more control they feel like they have over us.
They actually feel like they got all the control over us.
Yeah, they do. But we allow them to have it. The people they can't have no power unless the people give it.
Not only white people, not only black people, also all races that live especially in America, we are the black person is just the most like seen as being controlled or whatever. But all races that's in America is being controlled by the black.
Yeah, by the government.
By the government too.
I feel like there's only one enemy, and that's the government. That's why I be saying what I be saying when I feel like black people and white people need to more so come together. I'm not saying like come together, have babies together. I'm saying coming together under understanding that we are not the problem with each other. The problem is the people that's having us thinking that we each other is the problem. You know what I'm saying?
Because you got this so-called government and your political parties. You got the Democratic and Republican. So when you think of a Democrat, your so-called black person would think they're most likely going to be Democrat, and your white person would say that they'll be Republican. But both of the parties are one and the same. There's not a difference with them. because
Yeah.
also they under America, so it doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
And then so you got to break down the words when you think about Democratic Party, the Democratic democracy. The first part of democracy is like demon or whatever, and then you got the last part is just rulership. I mean rulership, so it kind of mean like demonic rulership when you think about the Democratic Party.
That's true. I do feel like they the same side of the coin.
Yeah.
You feel me? But do you think black people who vote Democrat, black people in general, do you think they really know their history of like the parties and how they was established?
Mm-hmm.
Because we would know that the Democrats started the KKK.
Yeah, the Democrats really all your.
Yeah, the Democrats are really the worst of the party, even though neither one of them are good.
Yeah.
The Democrats are the worst party, and I feel like if black people really knew their history, they would actually be more Republican, because the Republican Party was founded by 150 black people in 1847, July 4th. I knew that we lost our way when we voted for Biden.
See, yeah.
I mean, I didn't. But I'm saying black
honest,
people as a whole.
Joe Biden is not really the president. It's still Donald Trump, because Donald Trump, like, really, Joe Biden's his role. He's the what is it called? The agent of secrecy for some type of organization. He really not really the president though. Like, it was a fake. That's why the race, like back when it happened, that's why it was like that. It was like weird a little bit, you know.
Mm-hmm.
That's why. And they actually, I feel like they're gonna bring Donald Trump back this year as some type of like high ranking again or something, something like that. Yeah.
I don't know. I know until that deep.
Cause like even if you go back to like if you watch
Cause I ain't gonna lie, like when I went back and started actually looking at Donald Trump was saying, I actually started to like him as a person.
Yeah, he was
But now that Biden, like, I feel like everything that he said Biden was gonna do when he got in office, he did exactly everything he's gonna do. First week, he said he's gonna cut the pipelines, and that's exactly what he did the first week. And that's why, like, I don't know, I just don't trust Biden. I just don't trust the Democratic Party altogether. I mean, I don't trust the Republicans either.
Yeah, I mean, I would not trust neither one of them. I'm not voting for the rest of my life, but the Democratic.
So, do you believe that if you don't vote, then you don't have the right to speak on stuff? You know, people say that all the time. If you don't vote, then you should have the right to speak on what's going on.
If you somebody that don't vote actually knows some shit, then like
yeah.
So yeah, I would say that that's
I know lately you've been seeing all these people like just dropping dead, young, like I mean younger than 35.
Yeah.
So, me personally, I think it's coming from the you know what vets.
Yeah, I agree. I agree because like when have you seen like recently people just been passing out? Suddenly somebody suddenly dies from whatever, and then we just had. I ain't trying to say it's connected to that, but we just had a NFL player just pass out on the field like that, and like, come on, like he's probably like in his early 20s, like that's.
The reason why I feel like it's related to the you know what is because they're not talking about it, they trying to hide it. You feel me? And usually when it's something that they can prove or is going for what they believe is going for, then they'll have it all in the media, they'll be talking about it and everything. Yeah, we done had people that randomly fall out and shit, but we ain't never had this many people that fell out. Yeah. And the fact that they don't even want to go and look and see if it could have been that, make me feel like that's exactly what it is. Because this was new. Y'all ain't do that much. Well, let them tell it. Y'all only used 9 months to work on it before you started putting it in people. So you don't know the short term or the long term that's going to happen. You feel me? Like the people that's passing out now, that could be an effect of that. And you don't know for sure because you ain't tested it. We ain't had it long enough to know what the effects is in the next 2 to 3 years or the next 10 to 20 years. We don't know. And don't you know Fauci? You know that he in court right now, right? Why they ain't showing about it? Why they ain't telling nobody that this man is in court?
They keep it under the shadows, bro. Like this man was the main one.
Killing people.
talking about, oh, get your vaccine, get your whatever.
Mm-hmm.
And now look what happened. Now he in court, and you got all these people that's
Killing people. And like I was telling people, at the end of the day, whatever you want to do is your prerogative. But I mean, use your common sense. When in the history of medicine did they have everybody, no matter what your history is, no matter your height, age, race, goddamn biology, did they have people taking the exact same form of medication and wouldn't let you use nothing else? Nowhere. Because for one, your medication is based off of one, your height, whether you male or female, what prior conditions you done had, and everything. And they ain't do that. They was treating everybody the exact same way, and people was just fucking dying. Then this lady came out about the I think it was in New York, in one of the nursing homes and stuff, and they was like that they was telling them that they had an elderly lady that was in there sick or whatever, tried to get to the hospital. They wouldn't come get her, take her to the hospital, or none of that. They kept saying that the hospitals are packed. I ain't seen not one packed hospital since this started or ended.
Yeah.
I ain't seen not one packed hospital, not one time.
Mm-hmm.
And I went to the hospital because, you know, I was pregnant during that. So I went to the hospital. They was never packed, never nothing. And they said because they had to keep people 6 feet apart. My thing is, what the is 6 feet gonna do if they was considering the airborne anyway?
Yeah, exactly.
What the hell is that gonna do? And then they was telling people to get the damn thing. Once they got it, you wouldn't be contagious. You wouldn't be able to catch it. This and that. Soon as they started getting it, they was the ones that ended up dying. The people that was actually taking the vaccine, they was the ones that was actually dying during that period or whatever. And now all of a sudden, you still need to wear your mask. You still can give it out. What's the point of me taking this if it's not protecting me from it? And people still dying. You feel what I'm saying? Like. And I feel like they was killing people. I don't think people was really dying from the disease. I think they was killing folk to make the numbers go up.
Yeah, I feel like that's what it was like. You know, back then they were saying hospitals was getting like $13,000 for a person that died from COVID. So yeah, I can see the whole.
You remember the dude that died on the motorcycle? Well, it was a dude. It was a motorcycle wreck, and they put it down as a COVID death, and his family was suing them. Yeah,
that's crazy, bro. People like
that's some
back then in 2020, somebody that could have got shot, and they would have been like, "Oh yeah, he died from COVID." You know, he just got shot,
and that ties into religion because, you know, I used to be Christian, and the Bible told you that the people will come to you like basically like they're your best friend to deceive you, like they actually care about you to deceive you. My thing is, if you really believed in your religion the way you did, and God is gonna tell y'all, why would you put anybody you didn't know about if you really believed in God? That right there let me know that ain't none of y'all got no real faith.
This is the thing. See, the whole thing about being a Christian and all that, it's all about self-preservation. So somebody that, like, when you say when you pass you're gonna go, they talk about heaven and hell. Nobody want to go to hell, so you're gonna automatically agree to something that's gonna get you away from going to hell. So that's what it's about. It's about self-preservation. If I tell you, oh, do this and do that, so you can go to heaven, and so you don't go to hell, you gonna automatically do that.
So do you believe that hell is real?
No, I don't feel like it's a physical place, but I feel like it's actually a mental place, not an actual place that you actually burn and stuff like that.
So you don't think Earth is hell?
Yeah,
it's the hell that they speak of.
Yeah, that's the Earth, because back in like Egyptian times, they used to call Earth Hades, and that's like Hades is like the underworld, or you call hell. So to me, like the Earth, especially like if you look at what's going on the planet, I feel like this is really the hell that they talking about.
That's how I feel too. I feel like we living in hell now because most awful shit you can ever imagine happens here on Earth.
We just had like,
and they say, I heard that the people that live on Earth, right, that mean that you didn't complete your mission in the last life, and you was put on Earth to figure out what you did wrong or whatever, so that way you can make it to the next realm of life.
Okay.
So they was like, the people on Earth actually to be here maybe 6,000, 7,000, 8,000 times.
Yeah, I actually believe it.
Yeah. So all of us quiz. That's why we here.
We didn't complete our mission.
Yeah, we didn't do what we were supposed to do the first time.
Yeah.
Do you believe that kids like know their past, can remember their past lives?
Mhm.
Because my little boy, listen, I swear to God, he was doing this all the way up to like last year. He would always come to me and be like, "Mommy, what my name used to be?" And I'm like, "What are you talking about? Your name is Kai." He's like, "No, before it was Kai." I said, "Wait, Cameo?" He said, "No, my name before Cameo. I had another name. I can't remember, but I had another name." And I just be looking at him like, "What the you talking about?" You know? And then I was watching this thing on YouTube, and the lady was saying that kids, since their consciousness or whatever, like it's open, so they can actually remember shit that happened to them before time. They can see shit like that's not in this realm that we can't see, and shit like that. And it's like that's why kids' imaginations are the way they are.
Cause like kids, third eyes is still more open than like an adult would be, because you've been living on this planet, you've been doing whatever you've been doing, so that has probably like closed your pineal gland up. So a younger kid can probably still like remember things like that and see like other dimensions and stuff, because their third eye's still like open.
Mm-hmm. So do you think that we can actually restore our pineal gland after we didn't ate and destroyed it?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So you don't think it's a way that it can actually like be ruined?
Nah, it can't be. It can't be like destroyed for like. Nah, it can't be destroyed. But it's actually just a gland in the body that
They say a pineal gland is what connects you to your spiritual world.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
One more thing, while I'm thinking about it, you know, like when you be asleep, right? And it's like you woke, but you ain't woke, but you can't move your body, you can't talk.
Mm-hmm.
So one time I was hearing about this man was saying that people be saying that it's a bad thing, like that mean that it's the devil on you or somebody holding you down, like the devil riding your back and shit like that. But he was like, it's actually like a talent that you be able to like astro project. Listen, bro, I swear to God, no lie, no bullshit. Probably about 2 months ago, I was laying in my bed right at home, and it's like I was woke, but I was asleep. You feel me? So it's like every time I would open my eyes, I could see my room, I could see the way I was laying and everything, but I could not fucking talk. And it's like I was telling myself in my head, Coco, you in between sleep reality and real reality. You in between, right? So I closed my eyes or whatever, and I was like, okay, I'm just gonna close my eyes to try to wake myself up. So, you know, I'm asleep, but I'm not asleep. So my mind is really talking to my body. So in my mind, I close my eyes, you feel me? And I start going on this roller coaster ride, you feel me? Like, it just feel like I'm zooming through somewhere. I don't know, I can't see, it's just black, but I got this feeling all over my body, like I'm actually flying through something, you feel me? So then I try to wake myself up again, still can't wake up, but I can hear my mama talking, you feel me, talking to my kids, and I can actually see my room, and I can see me laying in the. So I kept saying in my head, Mom, come wake me up. Mom, come wake me up. I just want to wake up. Like, I can't get out of this situation, because every time I close my eyes, try to go to sleep and wake back up, I end up going on this roller coaster ride, like I'm flying through something, but it's pitch black, right? So I'm sitting there talking to myself in my head, like I'm wanting my mama to come wake me up, but I can't yell at her to wake me up or nothing. So my boyfriend ended up calling, snap me up, you feel me? And like I wake up, but I'm still already up. Like I remember everything that happened.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I actually had some type of experience like that. It was not that long ago. I was asleep. It was like during the day. I was in a room by myself, and I couldn't move or nothing. But I could see like I can see my in my room, but I couldn't talk in there. So I swear I seen like some type of thing. It was like it was a being right there, but it was like in all white. It was like all white. It was like all white being, but they wasn't talking to me. They were just standing like in the distance away from me. But I couldn't talk to them or nothing. They were just standing there, and they just started walking away. And then I just woke up after that. So.
But you ain't had this feeling over your body.
Yeah.
But I felt like I was really astro projecting, like I was going so far, but I didn't have no control over the destination or nothing. I couldn't see where I was going, but I could feel it in my body. Like my consciousness felt like it was going somewhere. But they say you're not a part of your body. That's why, like when you talk and in your head you hear like two separate voices. They say what's in your mind when you talk to yourself, the thing that actually make the decisions, come up with the question. That's your real self, like your consciousness. But when you talking, it's the physical body taking your information that you speaking to it and coming out. person
Sometimes.
now. It's a whole other fucking person now. Voodoo. Do you think voodoo is a part of spirituality?
I heard it's like good
Like
and bad.
witchcraft and shit like that.
Yeah.
I mean, it could be used for bad, but it was meant for good, right?
Like I actually heard like a story back when slaves that when they was held captive, they actually used voodoo to get them to free themselves out for slavery.
I heard a story about this lady. She used voodoo, and she was getting captured. So she asked them if she can go and pray to her ancestors, because usually before they die, they let them get one last word in with their ancestors. Said that the lady went in there, talked to her ancestors. They said out walks Black Panther, and the lady, like, they went in there to look for the lady. She was never there, and everybody kept saying that the Black Panther was her. Shift shaped in order to get out of being captured. Yeah. They said her ancestors, like their ancestors, helped them.
Can't like like to me, see that's why I always say like I think there's a spiritual difference between a black person and a white person because I've heard stories that like a black person like they can shake you, but you have to be like at a way higher frequency.
And that's why I say maybe we don't believe it real because we not at a higher frequency enough to believe it, to think that it could be possible.
Yeah. So there's like something that's supposed to be happening this year, and it's called like they say like a vortex is gonna open up. They say it's called like the spring equinox. So they saying it's supposed to happen in March. It's supposed to be one that's happening in March, and then probably won't happen in August. So what's happening is like there's gonna be like a solar flare that's gonna hit Earth, and they say it's gonna happen in March, and it's gonna cause the so-called DNA activation to occur in some people. Not all people will like will get it. So like I feel like talking about that, you have to have universal like alignment with Mother Earth to get that type of benefit though.
Now see, I heard that about like the upgrades, and I also heard that everybody wouldn't get them right. But how do they know which ones are really going to get them? Like, okay, for example, let's say that you actually eating right out in the sun. You know what I'm saying? Doing everything you're supposed to be doing, but in the inside, your heart is not pure like it's supposed to be. Like, you only doing these things because you was told to, but deep down inside, you really don't believe. Other than somebody, like, let's say that ain't really got their life together, but really in their heart, they believe, like, and stuff like that. So, would that determine, do you think that would determine who get an upgrade?
You know, because your heart chakra and your heart is connected to the magnetic field of the Earth. So, the Earth can tell if like your heart not aligned with the planet. So it's based on your heart chakra. Like you got to have you gotta have that love. You gotta have that love in you. So if you don't have that in you, then you won't be able to get the benefit. So
yeah, because I was about to say, I know I do it ain't right. You feel me? But I know what my heart is and what my mind is. You feel me?
Yeah.
So I was like, I know it's people out here that just because they eating right, exercising right, making sure that their body is aligned, that don't mean that they heart pure or their mind pure. You know what I'm saying?
The most thing is your heart. Yeah, you gotta have that heart, the heart chakra open.
How would you necessarily know? Because people get put on the front all day long. They don't necessarily mean that this was really in their heart. You feel me? Because what it is, your throat chakra, that's a powerful chakra too.
Yeah, we always gotta listen to what somebody say for real, especially when they mad. You gotta listen to you definitely gotta listen to what people say, and just to see how they act. Like when you get comfortable around somebody, then you can tell if they really own that type of stuff. Cause you got a lot of people that do it for the money. They do it for the money and to act like they teachers and stuff like that. But they don't really care about the individual person that they trying to teach or whatever. So they do end up getting exposed though. So
yeah, cause then I was like, you don't really know who people really are. So people who think they might be getting this so-called upgrade might not necessarily be getting it. You get what I'm saying? I feel like if something's happened to the world, I'ma survive, Quest.
yeah.
I feel like I am.
I just have that feel like you know how they say the chosen ones. I always feel like I'm especially now like feel like I'm always been a chosen one.
Yeah. So I feel like even though I don't do all the way right, like if it came down to the bottom of it, if I had to choose between the government or the spiritual, I'm gonna always be more spiritual than listen to anything somebody tell me. Like I can feel when they're wrong. You feel me? That's just like when all this stuff was first happening. I was like, listen, you can't put no fear in me, cause at the end of the day, this sounding right. You're not making sense when you talking. You can't scare me unless I'm saying it's accurate, and I ain't got no way to debunk it. But I don't. None of this made sense.
Nah,
Like, none of it.
I think it was just the whole thing with the
People ain't want to die.
it was a test. I feel like it was really a test,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of people didn't make it. They didn't pass it. They went in. I guess they were scared, so they went and did what they did.
Now I know people that went and got the first one because they were scared, but wouldn't go back and get no more.
Yeah, I heard that too. Which I mean, for somebody that's like that has like been fully has it fully, I feel like they completely just like shut off, and the ones that probably I feel like it's still like it's gonna affect you though. So, cause like I know some people that only got one shot or whatever. So,
but my thing is, if you didn't get the shot, you know they it's a rumor going around that they putting it in the food. That's why Bill Gates bought up all the farmland. So there's really no way to pretty much get around it.
Yeah.
Because even if you go all organic, you don't know for a fact if it's in your organic. Because all that stuff don't be organic.
All that stuff be really GMO. So what we really gonna end up like having to do is grow our own food. All of it.
Now see, me and Dominique, you remember when the pandemic first started? Or whenever I came back to Madden. I bought seeds, the organic seeds, because the people were saying that if you're going to buy seeds and stuff, you need to go ahead and buy them now. So we got organic seeds at the house. I ain't started no garden yet because I was like, I don't know if it's necessary right now. Really pop off. I want to make sure we got food to eat. You feel what I'm saying? But even them might not even be organic for real,
but it's better than, I feel like the fruit and stuff is better than definitely better than the other option.
Oranges don't even taste the same. Oranges are fake. I don't care what nobody say. They ain't got no juice in them. They be dry now.
Ain't trust nothing no more.
If you don't go to the actual farm itself, look like people that be having their own like little baby gardens in the yard.
They put nanotechnology in it and stuff like that.
They said that once they put that nanotechnology in the mRNA that was in the vaccine, that it changes your DNA. So therefore, they can actually write a patent on you and experiment on you because now you are no longer considered human because your DNA has been manipulated.
Yeah.
So everybody that got the shot is now considered like lab rats.
Cyborgs, lab rats, and merging with AI. That's what's going on, man. They actually have freaking nanotechnology inside of their body.
And everybody that pretty much got this shot are now owned by like the government. Like they have a patent on all the people that pretty much got that. Because now once they change their DNA, they can write a patent on all of them.
That's my first time hearing about that.
Yeah.
A misguided misfit, they stay saucier than a deep dish. Don't ride my way, you might get seasick. Don't ride my way, you might get seasick. I pray the Lord protect my character. I pray the Lord protect my